Have you ever wondered what it's like to wear the crown of an empire and feel its weight crush you from within? Picture a young duchess, free as the mountain breeze in Bavaria, suddenly thrust into the gilded cage of Vienna's Habsburg court. This is the story of Empress Elisabeth of Austria. Affectionately, Sisi and her husband, Emperor Franz Joseph. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll peel back the layers of palace intrigue, personal rebellion, hidden tattoos, forbidden midnight dances, obsessive beauty rituals, and a love that endured triumphs, tragedies, and secrets no one dared whisper. So lean in, because this isn't just history, it's human drama at its most poignant.
Imagine the summer of 1853 in Munich's airy gardens. 18-year-old Elisabeth von Wittelsbach, Sisi to her family, rides her beloved chestnut mare at dawn, wind whipping her chestnut hair into waves. Her childhood was defined by freedom, long walks through pine forests, barefoot dalliance by the Isar River, days spent sketching wildflowers and drafting poetry in a notebook bound in green leather. Her mother, Duchess Ludovica, doted on her, allowing Sisi to play flautist at informal gatherings, much to the chagrin of her stern governesses. A letter to a close friend reveals why she cherished these moments. I breathe best when the world feels boundless. Across the Alps in Vienna, 19-year-old Franz Joseph wakes before sunrise in his private apartment at the Hofburg Palace. The throne has been his since the 1848 revolutions forced his uncle's abdication. His days are regimented, council meetings at 8, audience with ministers at 10, inspection of regiments at noon, and ceremonial banquets at dusk. Courtiers bow, advisors counsel, diplomats vie for favor. Yet behind his composed expression lies a yearning for something more than politics and protocol. One diary entry, later published by his daughter Valerie, notes, "I sometimes feel I was born with a crown heavier than the heaviest thoughts." Their worlds collide in August 1853 at the imperial villa in Bad Ischl. Elisabeth arrives that afternoon with her sister Helene. She steps into the garden pavilion in a pale muslin gown, no hoops, no jewels, simply herself. The emperor, attending a family reception, pauses mid-bow when he sees her. According to court memoirs, time seemed to slow, string quartets faltered, the air grew still, and every pair of eyes turned toward this carefree duchess. Franz Joseph later confided to a friend, "In her glance I glimpsed the only freedom this court could never give me." From that moment on, their connection grows like vines around a tree, inevitable, entwined. They begin with clandestine notes slipped under doors, hers in delicate script, confessing a longing for simpler joys, his in bold ink, offering gentle reassurances that, beyond these walls, you shall always find me. Their first secret rendezvous is under an ancient chestnut by the Leopoldstadter Hauptallee, where Sisi arrives masked and Franz Joseph in civilian coat. They share fresh-baked strudel and whisper dreams of riding to the Danube, free of guards and gowns. By April 24, 1854, they stand before the altar in St. Augustine's church for a wedding that shocks Vienna. Sisi declines a customary state gown, choosing instead the same plain frock she wore in Bad Ischl. Guests gasp, courtiers murmur. But as she steps beside Franz Joseph, her calm smile tells the empire everything. She is here by choice, not by decree. Yet behind the ceremony, the walls of the Hofburg close in. Enter Archduchess Sophie, the emperor's mother, a woman whose presence fills a room like winter's chill. Within days, Sisi is summoned to posture lessons at dawn, learning to hold the back straight, the chin lifted, the arms precisely angled. Lunch times are replaced by endless etiquette rehearsals, teaching her which hand to use on which fringe of a tea service, how to curtsy to foreign dignitaries, and when to laugh, when to remain silent. Sisi chafes at every rule. By 1856, she births her first daughter, Archduchess Sophie, in the grandiosity of Schönbrunn Palace. Instead of joyful mother-daughter days, Sisi is relegated to decorative presence while her stern mother-in-law oversees the child's upbringing. In a hidden journal entry, Sisi writes, "I cradle her in my arms but cannot claim her soul." A second daughter, Gisela, arrives in 1859. Again, Sisi watches as nannies and governesses raise her infants, her heart aching for simple moments lost. So she escapes. In 1860, she embarks on a clandestine journey to Corfu, traveling incognito in a fisherman's boat to avoid court spies. There, she wanders olive groves, collects seashells, and eats fish by the shore, free of corsets and crowns. She writes to her sister, "Today I am but Elizabeth, not Empress." Franz Joseph, learning of her absence, dispatches urgent letters. "My little star, return to me before the court forgets your name, for without your laughter even these halls echo hollow." Their reunions are passionate but fleeting. Stolen carriage rides through Vienna's Prater, Moonlit strolls along the Ringstrasse, secret notes hidden in her leather-bound diary. And yet, with freedom come new shadows. By the mid-1860s, Sisi's beauty routine becomes her silent rebellion. She fashions herself a mythic ideal. Beneath the palace chandeliers, she appears flawless. But behind closed doors, she's locked in ritual. Each morning begins with 2 hours of horseback riding, even clothed in tight trousers, followed by ballet lessons in a mirrored room. She consumes nothing but goat's milk and raw egg whites for lunch, confesses a palace doctor. She's weighed daily on a brass scale hidden behind a tapestry. Her hair, her crowning glory, is washed thrice weekly, a 3-hour affair of olive oil and hand-combing, guided by the palace hairdresser who dares not blemish her reputation. But true love weathers secrets. Franz Joseph adores these mysteries. He gifts her a sapphire brooch in the shape of an anchor, knowing the hidden tattoo she bears on her shoulder, inked in 1888 during a Mediterranean port stop. That tiny anchor, invisible beneath her gowns, embodies her longing for stability and travel. He sees it in her eyes during their rare private dinners and asks no questions, satisfied by the knowledge that she is his, in all her contradictions. Their happiness, however, is fragile. In 1864, their only son, Crown Prince Rudolf, is born. He's a headstrong boy, more like his mother, impetuous, curious, yearning for freedom. Sisi lavishes attention on him, sneaking him from governesses to teach him to ride and read poetry. But court life demands Rudolf's upbringing by strict tutors and military instructors. The boy grows psychologically restless, writing dark poems of isolation in his adolescence, a literal echo of his mother's struggles. Then comes the ultimate heartbreak, January 30th, 1889, the Mayerling incident. The Imperial Hunting Lodge falls silent when Rudolf and his young lover are found dead in a murder-suicide pact. Sisi collapses into grief that no title can mend. She flees to Madeira 2 days later, ostensibly for health reasons, but wanting nothing more than to dissolve her sorrow in ocean mists. Franz Joseph, duty-bound, remains in Vienna, his heart fractured but his public face unbroken. Years pass. The empire trembles with unrest, nationalist movements, the looming shadow of 1914, but Sisi is consumed by private battles. She grows increasingly reclusive, traveling to Budapest, Venice, Corfu, each time under heavy escort, hidden beneath veils. She pens endless letters to her sister, charting her loneliness. "My crown feels heavier than ever. I find myself longing for a cottage in the mountains, where no eye can judge my heart." And yet, in those letters, her love for Franz Joseph endures. She signs them, "Your Elizabeth, forever tethered to you by love and sorrow." Then, the final tragic secret, October 10, 1898, in Geneva. Sisi, for once walking unescorted, her face veiled but her posture regal, pauses to watch paddle steamer races on Lake Geneva. An anarchist assassin, Luigi Lucchini, strikes with a concealed needle file. At 43, she collapses at the Corps de Rive pier. Eyewitnesses later recount, she reached for nothing but air. Guards rush her into a restaurant, surgeons fight to save her, but the blade pierced too deeply. She dies within minutes. Franz Joseph receives the news with characteristic stoicism, in public. Privately, he abandons protocol, hastening to Geneva and cradling her frail body before the world. When asked for a statement, he whispers only, "You will never know how much I love this woman." He returns to Vienna with her body draped in royal purple, the city draped in mourning. For a month, Vienna stands still. Black drapes cover every palace window. Carriages rattle through deserted streets. Franz Joseph leads her funeral procession on foot, an emperor among his people, removing his hat as he passes the coffin. That gesture, recorded in countless paintings, captures the complexity of their bond, duty and devotion entwined forever. So what do we learn from Sisi and Franz Joseph's story? It's more than a royal romance. It's a testament to the human heart's yearning for freedom, the sacrifices demanded by love, and the hidden scars we carry beneath our finest attire. Their secrets, the tattoo anchoring Sisi's soul, the masked dances stealing her joy, the brutal rituals of beauty, remind us that every life, no matter how gilded,
If this
harbors
deep
its
dive into
shadows.
palace intrigue and passionate secrets moved you, give this video a like, subscribe to survive the shows, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another journey into history's most compelling partnerships. Tell me in the comments, which secret surprised you most? The anchor tattoo, the carnival disguise, or her relentless beauty regimen? Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and remember,